Good morning. It's Monday. We are going to enter pre-algebra world again for a few days today, and today we're going to start with Pythagorean theorem. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this in class, 6th graders, so let's just take a look at a review of Pythagorean theorem. And this comes up over and over and over, so we need to learn it and we need to memorize it and know how to do it, okay? So Pythagorean theorem says that in any right triangle, where there's a right angle, that we can name the two legs A and B, okay? And we can name the hypotenuse C. So the hypotenuse is always the longest side, always. The two legs, which touch the right angle, right, which meet at a right angle, those are A and B. The hypotenuse is always C. And Pythagoras found that there was a relationship in every right triangle that the square of one leg plus the square of the other leg equals the square of the hypotenuse. And we call that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then we can plug the values in and solve for the leg or the hypotenuse that we don't know. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of examples. So I've got an example right here. We don't know what a is. A is our unknown. Okay, so there's a variable there. One leg is 2 and one leg is 5. So I wrote an equation. I said a squared plus 2 squared equals 5 squared right here. A squared plus 2 squared equals 5 squared. And I wrote it like that to show myself that I was plugging in those legs and that hypotenuse in the correct place. All right. This one I did in my head. I said, okay, if a squared plus 4 equals 25, then a squared must equal 21. Right? You can do that in your head. You can mental math that. We can also say minus 4. You could write out the step where you write 4 and 25. That doesn't matter to me. However it makes sense to you. You can show as little or as much work as you need to, but definitely show that original equation, okay? And definitely show an a squared equals. All right. And today, instead of simplifying radicals, we're going to just, all the problems, none of the problems can enable you to simplify if it's not a perfect square. So we're going to practice putting it into a calculator. So if you have not done this on this particular calculator, we're going to do second right up here. And then this right above the x squared is the square root symbol. So if you have one of these calculators, then I would do second square root, the x squared, so I get that. And then stick in 21 equals, and I got 4.58257, blah, blah. Okay, so I rounded it to the 100th place. All right, you can use the Desmos calculator on your computer if you want to for a scientific calculator if you don't have one. Okay, so let's take a look at this right here. Some of the problems look like this, where they just give you what A equals, what B equals, and what C equals. All right, so there's not a triangle given. That several of the problems are like this. So I'm asking you to take a look at how you would set this up. So I actually made a triangle here. Let me switch sides. So I made a triangle and I put in 10 and B and 19. All right, and then I wrote my equation. I said 10 squared plus b squared equals 19 squared, because 19 is the hypotenuse, 19 is c. So that is the same as 100 plus b squared equals 361. I showed you my process here for solving this equation. Minus 100 from the left, minus 100 from the right. Remember, we add and subtract, multiply and divide the same number from both sides, okay? And then, so b squared equals 261, and again, I just put that into my calculator. The square root of 261 equals b, and I got 16.6, which makes sense because 16 squared is 256, which is pretty close to 261, so it's a little bit more than 16. Okay. So, Pythagorean theorem, there are a bunch of problems. At the end, it asks you to test if 3 sides make a right triangle. The longest side is always the hypotenuse in a right triangle. So you can take the two smaller numbers, use them as A and B. the larger number, the largest number as C, write an equation, and see if it works. See if it's true, okay? So yeah, that's it, Pythagorean theorem. If you need anything, please contact me and we can do some problems together, okay? I hope you have a great Monday. It's going to be sunny today, I think. Or I'm wrong, who knows, but it's going to be great. Bye.